This track here, it means a lot to the race fans because it's where the racing got started. And I always like to come down here, see this race, and it's going to be a shame it's going to be closed up.
I think it's getting too big, really. It's all like a business now. It's all money.
It's money. They always want 100,000 people, so they want 100,000 people. If they'd have kept on, they would have got that many in here. You can put 100,000 people in a football stadium, you can get 100,000 in here.
September 29th, 1996 was an extremely sad day for the locals of North Wilkesboro. Since NASCAR's inaugural season in 1949, North Wilkesboro Speedway had been a part of the schedule. The Speedway helped the sport grow for decades, but as NASCAR got bigger and bigger, the sanctioning body began outgrowing North Wilkesboro. Longtime owner Enoch Stanley had died of a stroke in late May of 1995. Less than a month later, SMI CEO Bruton Smith purchased 50% of the track, with the other 50% being owned by Bob Baer, owner of New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Not long after, they announced their intent to use the spring and fall dates for their own tracks, citing North Wilkesboro Speedway's age and lack of modern amenities. This meant that New Hampshire would get a second Cup date, while the brand new Texas Motor Speedway would be added to the schedule beginning in spring of 1997. One of the quotes that stands out to me every time I look back at this announcement was when they said, "Cash rules everything around us." The 1996 Tyson Holly Farms 400 marked the final Cup Series race in the track's storied history. Hall of Famer Junior Johnson refused to attend the final race, stating, "I'm not going. It would be more of a sad deal for me to go out and just stand around and look at something disappear." Bruton Smith needed extra security for the weekend, as most hostile race fans viewed him as the reason for the track's closure. In a way, this felt more like a funeral than a race. During the pre-race show, Darrell Waltrip predicted NASCAR's future in a way, and Dave Despain spit nothing but facts.
Banging fenders on a short track at Wilkesboro, yeah, we got expensive cars and it costs a lot of money to do that today, but it's kind of like a payback. And we got to always be thinking about what we're giving back and not what we're taking all the time. And I don't want to see us get in a situation where it's take from the fans, from the sponsors, from everybody. One day we'll wake up and they won't be there.
The roots of this sport are here at North Wilkesboro, and they are in need of water. For Winston Cup to outgrow North Wilkesboro is progress. But if the price of that progress is the death of this racetrack, then this is a sad day indeed.
And so for the final time, the command has been given to the NASCAR Winston Cup drivers. What began in 1949 ends today at this 5/8 mile speedway known as North Wilkesboro. She's given us memories that will last a lifetime. From a dirt track with the Ford and Chevy coupes to today's aerodynamic rockets, the storied facility has seen it all. The best drivers in the country have competed here, but we're nearing the time to say goodbye.
With mixed emotions, fans were getting ready to watch the final NASCAR Cup Series race at North Wilkesboro. This was the last Cup Series race to have fewer than 40 cars start until 2016. Ted Musgrave won the pole, but Jeff Gordon straight up dominated, leading 207 of the 400 laps. The other drivers who put up most of the fight that day were Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin, and Bobby Hamilton. Nobody really stood much of a chance against Jeff Gordon that day, and even though he wasn't the most popular driver at times during the 90s, the fans of North Wilkesboro could care less if he was dominating. They were just soaking in all of the at-the-track atmosphere for one final time, as they knew once Jeff Gordon took the checkered flag, it would officially mark the end of an era.
Less than 5/8 of a mile to go. And the drop of the checkered flag here at North Wilkesboro brings down the final curtain of NASCAR Winston Cup racing. From the first race, October 16th, 1949, won by Bob Block. The victory here to Jeff Gordon on September 29th, 1996. Jeff Gordon wins the final race at North Wilkesboro. the Tyson Holly Farms 400.
Jeff Gordon scored his 10th and final victory of 1996, but in the end would lose the championship to his teammate Terry Labonte. Every car that started the race was running at the finish. Most of the fans remained in the stands long after the race was over, holding on to the memories of the track. After all the haulers had left and the sun was beginning to go down, fans realized it was time to go home. What began in 1949 all of a sudden was over in 1996. The track was officially closed after the fall of 1996. North Wilkesboro's spring date was moved to Bruton Smith's new Texas Motor Speedway, while the fall date was taken over by Bear's New Hampshire track and moved to early September as part of the schedule realignment. For most of the next 27 years, North Wilkesboro Speedway was left completely abandoned. There were multiple attempts to reopen the speedway that didn't last very long. The first reopening took place in 2009, but was quickly closed in the spring. The second reopening took place in May of 2010, but lasted all the way to the spring of 2011. After the third closing, it felt like getting any sort of racing there was going to be a miracle. But in December of 2019, the track was cleared of weeds and debris that had grown into the track's surface since its closure in an effort to make its surface scannable by iRacing. The project was headed by former NASCAR driver Dale Earnhardt Jr. and iRacing executive president Steve Myers. Speedway Motorsports president and CEO Marcus Smith paid close attention. In November of 2021, funds from the American Rescue Plan Act were distributed to certain racetracks in North Carolina. $40 million was given for 3 tracks: Charlotte Motor Speedway, Rockingham Speedway, and North Wilkesboro Speedway. The funding made the track financially viable to reopen. After hosting a late model race in August, they decided if they were going to invest this much money, they had to do it big. In September of 2022, it was announced that North Wilkesboro Speedway would be hosting the 2023 All-Star Race, along with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series running a points race.
It's an awesome crowd. Sit back and enjoy. 250 laps for the Craftsman Truck Series. Heim takes the outside lane and quickly jumps to the race lead.
Great move to get down in front of Carson Hocevar. Now he can dictate the pace.
That's what these guys on the outside are all going to be trying to do, get down. And that means squeezing. And if the guy on the inside doesn't give you the spot, then you'll be turned around.
It took 27 years, but finally, NASCAR has officially returned to its roots at North Wilkesboro Speedway. It's officially back from the dead and completely resurrected, repairing the bridge with the older fans while introducing the newer ones to the roots of the sport. I think I speak for all NASCAR fans when I say we are so happy to see this track back on the schedule. And once again, that'll do it for another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Black Flags Matter. Catch you next time.